rider. Now, he started off his pro career many years ago, mainly known as a park/street competitor, but after many years of success in that aspect of the sport, set his sights on vert riding and has quickly risen through the ranks to become a credible podium threat in that part of the sport as well. You've seen him on the X Games, you've seen him on the Dew Tour. He's all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Let's hear it for Austin Coleman. Dropping it in right now, the one guy getting the job done for us on the skateboard. He's one of the veterans in his sport, and he is strictly a vert competitor. Now, you've heard that term vert a couple of times out here already. If you're not too familiar with the world of action sports, that word is short for vertical. Basically means he's a half-pipe rider when it comes to shows and competitions. Now, he spends his time each and every year traveling all across the globe, competing at major events, as well as performing in shows. Once again, if you've watched this stuff on TV, things like the X Games and the Dew Tour, you probably heard his name before. From down south out of Tampa, Florida, make some noise for Anthony Furlong. On the ramp right now, the one guy getting the job done for us on the inline skates. He just happens to be one of the most dominant competition skaters in the history of his sport. Anytime this gentleman steps on a ramp at a major event, you can pretty much bet good money he's going to be walking away with a top 3 finish. That's because he's all about the spin moves, things like flat spins, 540s, 720s. Who knows? You may even get this guy to throw out a 1080. He's a 3-time X Games gold medalist, and he's a long way from home, all the way from Kobe, Japan. Make some noise for Ito Yasutoku. And last but definitely not least, rounding out the roster here this afternoon, our final BMX rider. He too, one of the veterans when it comes to his sport, and also strictly a vert competitor. Now, to give you an idea how long this guy's been in the game, he's been a pro rider longer than you guys have been alive. He has 20+ years experience as a professional BMX vert rider. Now, when it comes to competitions, he's known for a couple of things. One, he's known for the impressive height at which he will do his tricks. Two, he's known for his combination moves. You'll see him up in the air. He'll do several variations in the middle of one air. He's also known for throwing down a little trick called the flare, which is a backflip with a 180-degree corkscrew twist. He's originally from right here in the greater Chicago area as well. Give it up for the local guy, Jimmy Walker. Well, there you go. You got a chance to meet the fellas. You know just a little bit about them. So right now, I'm going to cut them loose and let them do their thing. And the way we run our show is what we call a jam session, which means these guys can get out here and take as few or as many runs as they want. Like I told you at the top of the show, they like to hear you making some noise out there. So come on, let's get loud for Gabe and the rest of the crew, because that's how it works. They hear you guys screaming and yelling and carrying on out there and lets them know y'all are having some fun. And when that happens, it gets the adrenaline pumping, and then you never know what these guys are liable to throw down for you here this afternoon. Now, part of my job, I get to introduce you to the riders, give you some stats on them, a little bit of history as to who they are in each one of their respective sports. But the other part of my duties out here today, I get to talk to you guys about something pretty important, and that is about the dangers of tobacco. After all, this tour is about showing you a good time, but it's also about educating you about a pretty nasty, pretty destructive habit. We're part of an action sports entertainment company. I mentioned that earlier. We do events like this all the time, but these high school tours, well, we've been doing these for 12 years now. Marines, they're the title sponsor of the program. As I mentioned several times already, they provide all of the funding that allow us to do these shows at the high schools for free. But our cause partner, and the main reason we get to come out here and talk to you guys in the first place, is because of this group out of Washington, D.C., known as the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. Now, they're one of many anti-tobacco groups here in the U.S., but the people over at the campaign, their whole goal, their drive in life, they're trying to reduce the number of youth smokers that we have here in this country, hence the title, the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. Now, as you guys all well know, it's against the law for the tobacco companies to market or sell their products to people under the age of 18 in this country. Yet, every single year, they try to figure out sneaky little subversive ways to get around those laws. They try to guerrilla market. They try to make that stuff look cool. Why do they do that? Because those tobacco company execs, they look at you guys, the youth of today, as tomorrow's potential customer. They could care less about your health or your well-being. They care about one thing, and that's turning you into a lifelong customer at a very young age. If they're successful in doing so, they're lining their pockets. They're making money. That's their ultimate goal, and that's one of the reasons why we have organizations like the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. They're trying to right that wrong. They're trying to fight fire with fire. Use events like this to show you good time, give you the facts, and hopefully you guys will make the right decision decisions when it comes to tobacco use. Now, some of the things I'm going to tell you out here today, they may be common sense issues when it comes to the subject of tobacco. Then again, some of these things I talk about in the show here today, they may be issues you've discussed in health class if you've gotten on this subject. And then again, some of these stats, some of these numbers and facts I tell you here today, they're going to sound a little exaggerated. They're going to sound a little far-fetched. So I guarantee you, I'm not embellishing any of the stuff that I tell you out here today, but I encourage you, you don't have to take my word for it. You can get on the campaign's website, do a little research on your own. You can back these facts up for yourselves, as well as find out plenty of other things about tobacco that I don't even have the time to go into out here today. Their web address, tobaccofreekids.org. That website is a wealth of information when it comes to the world of tobacco. You can spend about 4 or 5 hours a night every single day for the next couple of weeks, and you're not even scratching the surface as to what that website has to offer in the way of tobacco-related information. About 85% of the things I tell you all out here today, I learned off of this website. And by the way, this is the part of the show where you should pay attention, because remember, we're going to do that whole trivia thing at the very end, see who's listening. And don't worry if you forget the web address. I'll be repeating a lot throughout the course of the show, and it's also written on some of the signage in the on the barricades and on the ramp out here. First fact, first stat I'm going to give you out here today. This is the global death toll, worldwide death toll on average every single year because of tobacco use.